What's up guys, this is going to be a Leopard Gecko care guide, and let's get on with the video. Okay, so first thing is tank size. This is kind of a debatable topic, but what I think is probably a 40-gallon is good for an adult. You can start it off in something as small as a 10-gallon when it's a baby, and you can keep that in there for a little bit, but it's better to definitely go to a 40-gallon. Some people say 20-gallon, but I think it's better just to give it some different space. Like fish tanks, that's totally fine. You can have a terrarium, but usually you wouldn't use a terrarium unless you have something that climbs, more like a crested gecko. But for leopard geckos, usually what most people go with is a vivarium or a longer fish tank. So the different kind of substrates you can use is one, paper towel, you can use reptile carpet, you can use tile, loose substrate. There's many different kinds. You can do your research on what kind you specifically want, but I used a mixture of like 40% play sand and 60% dirt, but there's many different mixtures. This may not be the best one, but it's what worked for me. So another slightly debated topic is water dishes. Some people say they don't need a water dish, some people say they do. I think it's just a good idea to have it in there because I've seen it drink out of there, but usually they get their nutrients from what they eat and just droplets from when you spray their tank. But I think it's just a good idea to have it in there because you never know. Just keep it shallow so they can't really drown or anything. That's about it with water dishes. So for hides, usually you want to have at least 2, but better to have 3. So one warm hide. If you're only going to have 2, it'd be a warm and humid hide. And so that would be on the side that you have your heating element. And then you can have a cold hide, which is on the opposite side. And if you have 3, you'll have a warm hide, and then your humid hide, which is also on the warm side, and a cool hide. I have, let's see, count, 1, 2, 3. I have 4 hides, but you can have as many as you want, but 2 is definitely the least you can do. Okay, so for like heating, you want to have some sort of under the belly heating. So if you have some sort of heat lamp, you want to have like a stone or something that can catch the heat. I don't have any stone right now, but I am looking for some to get it because it's pretty useful for it to get the heat from its belly, and then it also gets heat from the top. So it usually just rejuvenates it and it goes around its tank a lot more that way. For humidity, you want to have it around 40% humidity. If it gets a little above, a little below, it's not going to kill it, but around 40% is the general basis. So for light, you can use the ambient lighting around the room, what's coming in from your window. I have a grow light. That's what my light cycle is. You want to have around a 12-hour light cycle, but you can do like 14 hours and then some off. You can change it up a little bit. So what leopard geckos eat is only insects. That's all they eat. But the different kinds of insects you can have is mealworms, crickets, dubia roaches, some beetles. They can have waxworms. They can have silkworms. They can have most insects. Just make sure to do your research, and you always want to dust them with calcium and supplements. I'll do a deeper video onto that in the future, but always make sure to do your research to figure out what time and what kind of supplements or calcium you need. D3 is good, but sometimes you don't need to use that depending on your reptile. But for leopard geckos, usually you use D3. So for handling a leopard gecko, it's basically what I've been doing this whole video, is just like having him, he'll walk around wherever he wants to. Try to keep him off your back because it's kind of hard to get him there. Had a bit of that technical difficulties earlier because he just went on my back and I couldn't get them off. It took a minute. So cohabiting is another controversial topic. You never want to have two males together, or when you wake up in the morning, there might be some assembly required. They're not very friendly to each other. You can keep two females together if they're about the same size, but always test the waters just to make sure that they're not gonna like try to tear each other apart. Always make sure you monitor them and make sure nothing's happening. And the only time you would keep a male and a female together is if you're breeding them, and only for a short amount of time. But that's not in this video. I probably won't do any breeding videos anytime soon, so if you're wanting to breed, you're gonna have to find somewhere else. So for like the price and availability of leopard geckos, it very much varies. It could be between $20 and $2,000, depending on the morph, the size. You could get like something from PetSmart, is where I got him for. I think I got him for maybe $30. But then you could get something like an all black one that's like $2,000, but there varies like a ton. If you look, research, find anything, basically you can search for any coloring and there's probably gonna be there somewhere. Unless you're searching for like rainbow, probably not gonna find that. So leopard geckos need enrichment just to keep them entertained. So in mine, I have sticks it can climb on. It has many different surfaces. It has a hammock, and handling it is enrichment, like just having a walk around your hands. Maybe you can stick it on your bed or something. And that's it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.